Did you know someone in the mid-60s can run a marathon pace similar to the speed they ran when they were 19? How insane is that? In no other sport in the world can someone in their mid-60s perform to the same level as someone when they're like 19, in their late teenage years. Now, the reason for this, very simply, is because we were born to run. The purpose of human movement is essentially running. Now, let me give you some of the biology here. Okay, so our body is designed to run. Now, you might be thinking, oh, what about, these, what was it, 75% of runners every year who get injured from running? I'm not talking about putting on running shoes, running in bad form, etc., etc. I'm talking about running in good form, good alignment, no cushioned shoes, barefoot shoes, or no shoes, let's say. This is what I'm talking about, good form, proper running. Now, firstly, our tendons are spring-like. They're made to harness that elastic potential to preserve energy, to reuse it essentially in the running process. Think about the Achilles. I've just iced mine now. I've just iced that heat and cold therapy because I just got back from a run and I'm a little bit injured. Not from running, from a bit of a parkour injury a while back. But the tendon is such a thick, the Achilles is such a thick tendon. And essentially when you're running, it's going to recycle essentially the elastic potential you have when you're running. So you use less energy. So when I say running, I mean distance running, okay? So we're talking about running in a distance. Because believe it or not, we can outrun a horse when it comes to distance. When it comes to short, sprints, we're slow as fuck. I think a squirrel could beat us. But when it comes to distance running, we're one of the best on the planet. Additionally, the arch in the foot, how your foot arches, that again is used to dissipate and kind of absorb the energy from the impact you're taking when you run. It's used to kind of dissipate the energy and again to recycle it. Furthermore, I'll just get some notes on my phone here. Longer legs, essentially, like we have much longer legs compared to any of our ancestors, any other primate. And the reason for this is the longer legs you have, the faster speed you can maintain and run at while using less energy. If you think about it, think about a bike if you like. A bicycle with big wheels, a nice road bike, you're going to have to cycle less cycles than someone on a foldable bike with tiny wheels. And this in long term will allow you to go a higher speed for less energy. Not saying again you're going to be sprinting 40 miles an hour, racing dogs and stuff, but you'll maintain a faster pace running a distance than if you had shorter legs like a primate does. Furthermore, we have large joint bodies in our lower legs, our lower body in general, to be honest. This just means the joints in our lower body have a larger bed, a larger kind of surface, which again allows for more absorption of the impact. Obviously, if ran with good technique, if you're on a bad technique, you're going to screw up your knees, you're going to screw up your hips. But with good technique, our joints are made to take the impact of running. And then two last points. Number one is our head. We have a much flatter face, a smaller jaw and teeth, and a more balanced head. And the reason for this is because we can balance it easier in line with our body, in good alignment when we're running, to stop it bobbing all over the place and throwing our gait, our alignment off, And then finally, we have our glutes. We have a butt, right? If you look at any other, again, primate, previous ancestor of ours, they had no ass, essentially. And the reason for glutes are to stabilize us when we're standing, walking, and most importantly, when we're running. Fun fact, many people don't engage the glutes when running. I heard quite a funny comment, which is essentially, imagine you're holding a credit card between your butt cheeks. And if you drop it, it's going to charge your knees. Because that's essentially what happens. If you don't use your glutes, if you don't engage them, if you don't squeeze them while you're running, the stress will go to your knees. So keep that in mind. So essentially, these are some of the points kind of demonstrating, there are so many more about, why we are made to run. Now, I'm not just talking about running down the street on concrete. Of course, we were made to run on many surfaces. We can run mountains, we can run grass. Sand is horrible to run on, but we can run sand, and we can run hard surfaces like compact dirt or, if needs be, concrete. Takes a bit longer to adapt to, but it is doable. Now, it's not just running I'm talking about. It's more so fell running or trail running, okay? So when in nature, essentially our job, when we ran, our job would essentially be, to persistence hunt, which means, the animals we'd be hunting, they, of course, would store lots of energy in the form of, meats and fats and stuff like that. But they had no way to perspire while moving. They didn't have sweat glands. So they'd have to stop, pant, because they couldn't sweat. And when they did that, we would catch them, or either they would die of heat stroke. They would run fast, we would run at a steady pace, and that would be that. Additionally, we would use it for gathering, for moving. We were nomadic people. We weren't cave people where we stayed in one cave and we went out hunting and brought food back to our family. The whole tribe would run together. Young people at the front, kind of like the 20-year-olds and stuff. You'd have the older people kind of towards the back and in the middle. That's how it would be. That's why you've got these mid-60-year-olds who can run the same pace as when they were 19 years old. Kind of crazy. But additionally, you would get over obstacles. There'd be an essence of parkour there. Over rocks, over, fallen trees, crawling under stuff, having to vault things, climbing. It would all be tied in with the running, which is why, we can brachiate, because perhaps we kept that from when we were swinging between trees when we were primates. Perhaps there was, perhaps there was a need to brachiate and climb at certain points in our evolution as Homo sapiens. I'm not a historical biologist, so I haven't really looked into a lot of this stuff deeply. But regardless of that, we have many functions. Our bodies, we are the best movers on the planet because we are the best adapters. We can adapt to live in any environment, any situation. We live in every corner of the planet, every extreme of climate. We live there because we're the best at adapting. And so therefore, the many ways our body can move is simply an expression of our purpose to run, to adapt to the running environment, to climb, to vault, to jump, to duck, to crawl, all of these things. So I just thought it was a bit of an interesting thing to share. I know lots of the movement culture don't actually run. It's a lot more kind of focus on the calisthenics and locomotion mobility side of things. And while that is amazing, and that's my main focus, a lot of the mobility and kind of calisthenics, running is there. Running is where it's at. If we're talking longevity through what the body was kind of made to do. Interesting topic. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I guess I'll talk to you next Sunday. Peace.